So that's kind of going on out there. We've got all sorts of things going on out there, folks. So we're going to take a look around, see what else we can muster. But this is Freedom Friday, folks. And of course, it being Freedom Friday means that, we've got to go and look for our freedoms and enjoy our freedoms. I kind of, this is an ongoing theme. I think I kind of ping on this a little bit every day, but most Fridays, I think with last Friday there was an exception because of everything going on, but I mentioned this. It's Friday. It's the end of the work week. Today is not for blowing off work. Today is for finalizing the tasks of the week, getting all those loose ends tied up, getting everything taken care of and done, making sure that you finalize all those good accomplishments from the week, from that hard work to generate that prosperity. Then, starting when you get off work tonight and going through the weekend, you go and enjoy the fruits of those labors. That's what the pursuit of happiness is all about, folks. You have the freedom to go out and earn a living. Now, if you are dependent upon somebody else hiring you, that goes along with part of it. You have the freedom to work for that person and that freedom to go and not work for anybody. You still got to kind of do whatever is in your contract. But anyway, go out and, do that hard work. Even if you don't like the work you're doing, remember what you're working for. Some may say, well, I'm working to put food on the table. Good. Enjoy your food. You're working to keep a roof over your head. Good. Enjoy that roof over your head. You're making those ends meet, then you're working for your cable bill. Now, if you want to sit on your duffel and enjoy cable TV, do so. You earned it, right? It's your money. And if you're saving up to go on a trip, or if you're going to go to a local state park where it's only a couple of bucks, or whatever your plans are for the weekend, think about it. You worked your butt off all week long to earn the ability to go and enjoy that time off. So if you don't like your job, at least like the fact that you're working and earning your living so that you can enjoy the times that you're not at work, those days off, the time with the family, the time with your loved ones, time in solitude, just taking a walk in the woods or up in the desert mountains if you live in Arizona, or whatever you enjoy. If 20 years ago you paid $79 for a cheap acoustic guitar and you like to sit there and play it, by all means, sit and play it. Whatever your leisure and enjoyment is, you earned it. And those of you not working, who are out there looking for jobs, well, it's kind of hard to get those jobs on the weekends. We understand that, but keep digging at it. The economy, we are not yet recovered from the recession. I don't care what the talking points coming out of Washington are, given the current unemployment rate and everything else. We're not out of the woods yet. But the economy is starting to get a little bit better, especially if you live in the Dakotas or Minnesota or Texas and a couple of the other states that are generating jobs. Think about the fact that those well, if you need to relocate to those areas, they're good areas to relocate to employment-wise. But I know in like San Antonio, Texas, has one of the lowest unemployment rates in the country, and that's partially due to the Eagle Ford, where they have all the fracking going on with the fractured hydraulic drilling. So, work hard, and if you're unable to find a job, you might want to move someplace that has a better opportunities for you. Don't shortchange yourself. Don't shortchange your family. And remember that when you dig in there and you find that job, pay off the debts that you accrued while you were unemployed or what have you. And once you level the, balance the accounting sheet there, start earning, start saving up, and then start enjoying what you worked for, because that's what it's all about, folks. Nobody owes you anything other than what you have worked and earned. So get out there and work and earn it, folks, and enjoy it. Once you've earned it, that's yours. Well, there's my usual Friday little bit of philosophy for y'all. So let's look at other things bouncing around.
You don't have a right to know everything in a separation of powers government, my friend. That is the difference between a parliamentary government and a separation of powers government.
Well, folks, I'm going to tell you right now, we do have a lot going on in the Second Amendment realm that I can talk about. And those who know me know that I can talk certain issues. I can talk to death. I can talk an entire team of horses getting beaten into glue and mailed off around the world. Talking about the whole beating a dead horse thing. And Second Amendment is one of those dead horse issues, if you want to call it a dead horse issue, because I don't think it's dead at all, but one that I can beat past glue and keep on harping on. And there's several other issues as well, but it just happens to be one of my several pet issues. So we're going to be talking quite a bit about Second Amendment stuff. And we already mentioned Piers Morgan, but I want to take a little bit of a break from that. Oh, real quick, folks, just to update you on, give you the further information on where those firefighters got injured. It was in Kentucky at the Campbellsville University, and they accidentally struck the university's main power line while they were conducting the Ice Bucket Challenge for some of the university members there. And it was a whole group of students. So, our prayers go out to the 4 firefighters who were injured in that accident. So, again, folks, if it could happen to firefighters who usually, because of the nature of the job, are looking to be as safe as possible in whatever they're doing, if it could happen to them, it can happen to anybody. So be careful. But, of course, I'm not saying don't do the Ice Bucket Challenge. I think it's a great thing, folks. And also I want to give a quick shout-out back to people that are a little bit more famous who have done the ALS Ice Bucket Challenge. And, of course, that's President Bush and Senator Cruz and Bill Gates, Microsoft Bill Gates did it. Sulu, otherwise known as George Takei. And by the way, I loved Mr. Takei's role in Heroes. I thought it was better than Sulu. But anyway, George Takei took the Ice Bucket Challenge. Good friend of mine, military officer by the name of Sean Kavish. He took the Ice Bucket Challenge, so I want to give a shout out to Sean. Hey, thanks, buddy. And anybody else out there who has taken it. But that's just a short list of the people I know off the top of my head. And there have been many, many more, of course. Now back to other news. We just heard from Representative Eleanor Norton. And you all know that once I cue in Eleanor Norton, usually it means we're getting onto some kind of federal level discussion. Well, before I get into what Congress is doing, which normally that's a signal for, I do want to bring up things that are going on in other sectors of the government. I think I discussed this yesterday, but there was a rescue attempt made earlier this summer to try to rescue the hostages that ISIS, ISIL, Al-Qaeda, whatever term you want to use for that particular group, has been holding. And they made the attempt, and when they got there on location, it was flawless. They took down some of the bad guys, etc. But the hostages were not at that location. by the time they hit it. Now, from having worked in that segment of the military, not the operator door kicker part, but the intelligence area that led to similar operations, I can say that at the time that the decision makers were presented the intel and asked for the go order, that the intelligence was probably current. That doesn't mean it was current at the time the go order was finally given. So you cannot blame the intelligence community. The intelligence community probably found the hostages, but by the time the operators were allowed to act, the intelligence was expired. It was no longer actionable. Now, does that mean that the intelligence community isn't still looking and doesn't have any hooks out there? That does not mean that at all. It just means they don't have any confirmed and actionable at this time. And they may have even come up with actionable intelligence, but again, by the time decision makers were informed, intelligence community may have sent up really quickly, don't ask for a go order on this, it's expired already because you're taking too long and saying go. And that has happened many, many times. It's not an intelligence failure. It's not an operator's failure. It's a leadership failure. Leadership needs to be quicker on looking at the intelligence they're presented and saying, this is what we have, this is what we know, this is what we assess based on what we know and what we see. We need a go order now, sir. They need to be a lot better at giving that go order. And we all know that Obama is not very warm on the intelligence community. He says he'll do his own intelligence work. He doesn't want to listen to the experts who actually do it for a living. And that may have played into it. So I'm not saying to necessarily point the finger at him or any of the military leaders underneath him. I am saying that the failure to get the hostages is indicative of a leadership failure due to indecisiveness, wherever that may have been. And I'll let you figure out at what level that may have happened. But the Pentagon did give their statement, as did the special assistant for Homeland Security and Counterterrorism, Lisa Monaco. They gave the statements about that. My question is this on that though. Why bother to go and say, hey, we tried a mission, it just failed because the hostages weren't there? Why even say it? Why bother? Because James Foley was still decapitated and the YouTube video was still sent out. So with that in mind, the fact that they tried and didn't rescue them doesn't change what happened. Unless you're trying to point fingers and blame somebody for it not getting done. That's the only excuse to release that information to the public. I'm not even a big fan of necessarily releasing to the public when the rescue mission is successful. At least details of it. Because when you give details of successful missions, you tell the bad guys, this is how we do it. I'd rather they not know. Because I'd rather us to be able to have continued success in the future. So, real quick, I want to give a shout out to all the special operators out there on the various hostage rescue and counterterrorism teams. I'm talking about the CAG, the guys over there at 1st SFODD. I also want to give a shout out to the various SEAL teams, especially SEAL Team 6. When I talk to the guys in MARSOC, that's the Marine Special Operations Group, the ones within MARSOC that do the counterterrorism activities as well. I want to give a shout out to all those guys, as well as the CSAR PJ guys in the Air Force. Give a big shout out to all those who are working the clandestine special operations stuff. The stuff that the only time it seems that we hear about it is when it's a huge failure or a huge success. And give a shout out and a big thanks to them for what they do on a daily basis. You know, everything from the training to the actual operations, because it's a tough job, and it's a thankless job. A lot of times, the only thanks you get is when you see whoever you rescued popping up in the news for whatever reason 5 or 6 years later and say, yeah, the person's still alive because of me. You're never receive the gratitude that you really deserve for it. And these guys don't ask for it either, which takes a very special breed of person. So because you don't ask for it, then you so deserve it. I want to give my big heartfelt thanks to all those guys. So there's your update from some of the federal stuff going on. I'm pretty sure I talked about that yesterday as well. But also want to see what other things may or may not be going on with our federal government. So let's see if there's something else I can talk about here. I'm sure there is. Folks.
Today is the 1st of May. Hooray, hooray, the 1st of May, we used to say when I was a little girl. It was either called Memorial Day or Decoration Day. That's history to you. It's my youth. Oh, I don't support it, but it's not, again, it's not like, in other words, there's an emergency. There's a burning building. We have to put out the fire. I'm not going to have a conversation about the color of the buckets that the water is in. I don't know if these people were all sprung from the head of Zeus, or maybe they're all Native Americans. Bless their hearts. But somebody came from someplace. Do you have any questions? I was thinking about it on Sunday when I was praying for the Republicans in church, as I do at least every Sunday. I pray for Christ and the Republicans for our country. What his name is, ISA, and this is why I've said this is a game changer, that it's a whole new ball game. This is me throwing up a ball. I think so. I think so. I think so, yeah. Congratulations to sportsmanship. Just kick the can a little bit, not even down the road, but down the path a little bit. I don't know if it's conventional, but it wasn't wisdom. Take it off the table.
He's publicly said...
Take it off the table. It's just... Don't mess with the children. I do think the House of Representatives at this time is an unsafe place for children and other living things. The bishops talk about a baby Jesus. What would we do if Moses had not been accepted by the Pharaoh's family? We wouldn't have the 10 Commandments. They don't know. Is that the one where we're singing, We Shall Overcome? Well, what's to think? I was smiling and singing, and maybe they were being pulled too tightly, I don't know. Anyway, I just loved yesterday. I just thought it was the best thing. I think that's some kind of an acronym, but I get these acronyms all mixed up. But it starts with BANK, on American Opportunity Text. American student, bank on student, so that B-O-S-E-L. Does that mean anything? No. Because we are sophisticated. Now, I used to be on the street. I was an advocate. I had the signs 30 years. Single payer, single payer, single payer. Public option I never heard of. Single payer.
And if you didn't recognize the voice of that lovely, lovely individual, that was our own current House Minority Leader and our own former Speaker of the House of Representatives. Of course, our very, very favorite, I'm being sarcastic, folks, that was Nancy Pelosi, and that was that's the Gaffe track that I wanted to play for y'all yesterday, but for some reason I was unable to get that to go over the air. Now I've got it and got up there for you. It's of course the audio pulled from a video done by Roll Call, and if you go over to BuzzPo, and that was posted either yesterday morning or late Wednesday, and it's got a good little write-up with it, and then of course the video is embedded, and go and watch the video, and the video is even funnier than the audio is there. But Wonderful, wonderful little Gaffe track there from our favorite,